Hey everybody, again, this is Freedom Voice. I want to bring to you another video here. This is going to be an observation showing community stalking, specifically red color sensitization. In this video, I want to show you how they actually sensitize you to various colors, thus setting the stage for targeting. These are the vehicle navigating details on my truck. It's date and time stamp. I'm going to be referring to this a lot. But in the first portion of this video, I just want to kind of, again, show you that I do a lot of driving, and a lot of my driving is on 2-lane highways. I just noticed some very strange things, and I just want to kind of document it in this video. It has to do with red color sensitization. Here's the first example. This would be a red vehicle. It's time stamped at 12:44, and just notice a red vehicle there. Now, I see this every day. I mean, there's not a day, and all of my videos are archived by the day, so I can show you every single day the same thing happening, a lot of times with the same red cars. And that is the reason why I'm kind of making this video here, just sort of documenting this. As I continue down this 2-lane highway, again, you can see there's not a lot of cars out, but you'll notice here coming up right here immediately, vehicles number 2 and 3 at 12:50 and 15 seconds. Again, red truck, and how coincidental, another red Jeep behind it. And these are not just random red cars. I mean, these cars were deliberately painted. It's not something you can go out and always buy from the dealer. And again, I'm just making an observation. I'm not making an accusation, just an observation. As I continue down this 2-lane highway, you can see here, not many cars out, but notice again, 12:51 at 45 seconds, vehicle number 4 happens to be a red, looks like a dump truck. All right. So as we continue down the road here on this 2-lane highway, this is about a good 30-mile stretch of highway that I usually take every day going in town. That's the other thing. At this point, I believe that whoever's behind the whole community stalking, gang stalking thing, they obviously know the route that I'm going to take. They even know the locations where I'm going to go potentially in town. And so you're going to notice in this video that there are a lot of red cars sprinkled all around town. And they're not only all around town, but you see them driving against you in traffic. Here's another one here. This is vehicle number 5 at 12:54 and 20 seconds. And again, you can see the timestamp down on the right side there, lower left side. So as I continue down this 2-lane highway, and by the way, I do want to mention that, well, let me just say this. I pulled over to allow this red car to pass here. This would be number 6 at 13:03 and 30 seconds. This car had been following me for a while behind me. Now the car is going to be in front of me. And again, this is another tactic that they use. If you do pull over and let them pass, then they'll get in front of you, and they do what's called vehicle hedging, where they just kind of hedge you up down the road where you can't just see any other car but the one in front of you, which is them. And you're going to see that here in just a minute. Now, you know, this happens again, as I said, every day, and you kind of learn their tactics. They do the same thing over and over again. That's the reason why I'm making this video, because I'm showing you the tactics. These are real tactics on how they actually do the gang stalking using red color sensitization, specifically for those individuals like myself that drive a lot. People that maybe ride on a bus, or people that walk, they'll have other methods of sensitization. They'll use, you know, red shirts, red shoes, red hair, You'll see that all over town. People that drive like myself, you'll see exactly what I'm showing you here in this video. So here I am again on this road. You'll notice there's not a lot of cars out. I mean, there's very little traffic, but you're going to always see that red car because they want to completely sensitize your brain to this color red. I know that is a specific. There's a specific meaning in the world of occult to the color red. I'm not going to go into that right here and now, but I just want to kind of show you as an observation how this happens every day, and it's not coincidental. And I would kind of challenge anyone that may think it's coincidental to make a similar video if you're not being gangstalked. This is what I refer to as vehicle hedging tactics. If you look in front of the car, there's nobody in front of the car. But, obviously I can't pass. I could pass on the left, but it's way too dangerous with oncoming traffic. So they'll get to that point and they'll kind of slow down and just kind of keep you behind them. It's a way of gaslighting you because they know I know the color red. They know that I understand it. They know I see it. And so they just kind of use it to manipulate. Here's another vehicle, number 7 at 13:10 and 12 seconds. And this is an out-of-state vehicle, or at least out-of-state license plate. As we continue down this road, this 2-lane highway here, this car would actually stay in front of me, but I chose to exit here. And as soon as I exit and got on the surface street here, you're going to notice what's called the pass in front tactic. Now that I'm off the 2-lane highway and I'm on the surface street, you're going to see a lot of red cars just pass in front. Here's one right here. This would be vehicle number 8. If you'll notice closely, this vehicle kind of slowly takes off to make sure that he's isolated to the point to where I can see it. And he does what I call the pass in front tactic. I'm going to show you this several times over in this video. And again, still the same date. You'll notice that a lot of these occurrences with red vehicles is about approximately every 3 minutes. That's the reason why I put the time stamp on there. So you can see that it's an average of 3 to 5 minutes all day. This is what we see. Now, again, it may seem coincidental. It may even be deniable to many, but it's not when it happens every day. Here's another one on the right side. Now, again, I mentioned earlier that they just sprinkle these red cars all over town. You're going to see that. Here's another vehicle coming to the left, number 10 at 13:24 with 25 seconds. And as I continue down the road here, I had to make a stop in this school, in this office here. So, but you can look down the street there. You can easily look if you could see. You could see more oncoming red cars there. And I know it may seem like really kind of strange for the person that this doesn't happen to be pointing this out, but there's a purpose and a reason behind it. Here as I pull out now, I've finished my business there at this particular office. So I'm headed out, and just as I'm headed out from this office, getting on to Surface Street, I'm going to make that right turn, and notice what meets the eye as soon as I make that right turn there. Again, another red vehicle, quite a large red vehicle. And again, in many eyes, this might be plausibly deniable, but when this happens every day, all day, it's not deniable to the targeted individual. And then notice right behind that one, like as if I didn't see the big red one. We've got another one here, and he just passed nice and slowly in front there. And, I'm going to make that left turn, so you can't help but to see that. But all that is to sensitize you to the color red, so that every time you see the color red, you would then think about targeting, which would then kind of force you to begin to talk about it, which when you talk about it, for people that this doesn't happen to, it makes you sound sort of schizophrenic or sort of weird or sort of mentally ill. But again, that's the reason why I'm doing this video. That's the reason why I'm showing the occurrence of it, the frequency of it, I'll say, is to show you why we do this, why we talk about it. Here's vehicle number 13 at 13:42, 15 seconds. Again, all day long, as long as I'm driving, this is what happens. And, I'm, again, making this video just to kind of show you what happens. Now, this is only sort of a 3-hour trip in town. I think it's about 4 hours, actually, from the time I left the house to the time I would go back to the house. My drive in town is about a 45-minute drive. So they do it on the drive all the way in, and then they do it on the drive all the way out. And you're going to see that in this video. And I do apologize that this video is so long, but I did want to show you exactly, play by play how it happens, how it occurs every day. And I emphasize every day. Here's another one, vehicle number 14 at 13:43. And now as I pull up to a turning light, stoplight here, you're going to see the pass in front tactic. Again, you're going to see the red or burgundy cars pass in front. And there it is right there. It's almost, the timing is absolutely perfect in terms of the cars and their tactics. And you can see that in this video. Now, here's one off to the right, but I'm not going to even reference that. Some of them may be just normal everyday people, but the timing is too perfect for me to call it coincidental. This is not coincidental. This is very much planned. And again, you can see now to the left. Now, I did mute out the sound at this point in the video because the truck to the left here, this 150 truck, had a very loud tailpipe. So, I did mute it out. But this is vehicle number 16 at 13:44 and 30 seconds. And again, I muted out the sound so that we wouldn't have to really pick up that in the video. Now, there are some of you that are targeted. You probably see other cars like the white cars and things of that nature. You probably hone in on that. I'm not dealing with that in this video. I'm just showing the red color sensitization. Now, here you can see another pass in front tactic. You can see not only that, there's another one over there to the left. They're all over town. I mean, you're talking a lot of red cars. This is not incidental. This is not accidental. This is very planned. That's the reason why I'm showing the timestamp. It's because I'm showing you the frequency of and the occurrence of it as being so frequent to be incidental or accidental. All right. So as I'm, running errands, paying bills and things of that nature in town here, I want to show you how there are going to be red cars everywhere I go to pull up to pay a bill. You can see it all through town. Now, as I'm pulling through here, this parking lot area or this little strip mall here, and you will see cars do the pass in front, the red cars pass in front, but they're not really sure exactly where I'm going to turn. So you can kind of see them kind of darting in and out, just like that red truck. As I continue pulling, they want to make sure that they're seen. That's their only goal, is to just be seen. Obviously not committing a crime, but just being seen. Here, you can see another red car there wanting to pass in front, but I'm making a left-hand turn there. I just wanted to point out that occurrence. So as I circle around here in the parking lot here to find a park close to this AT&T location here, again, noticing the parked vehicles. Some of these may be just normal people, you know, that have red cars, but again, I'm showing the frequency of it. I'm showing the commonalities, the tactics, and how common they are. They're too common and they're too well thought out and well planned to be incidental or accidental. I mean, this is kind of sort of like theater, so to speak. And that's what I'm pointing out here in this video. Now, here's another one parked here. Again, as I mentioned before, they're scattered everywhere where I would go and stop to pay a bill. They kind of know, you know, all of the locations that I frequent in town. So they're going to make sure. And that's the whole reason for sensitizing to the color red, so that every time you see something red, you're going to think about the whole targeting thing. You're going to think about gang stalking. It's kind of to keep you on edge, to make you feel like you're being watched, you're being followed, you're being victimized. And that's part of the psychological tactic that they use to literally destroy your mind and actually bring you to a point to where you develop post-traumatic stress. That's kind of their goal, is to induce PTSD. Now, as I'm pulling out here, I'm pulling up to this stop sign. And what do you know? Coincidentally, a pass in front, red car. Again, when this happens every day, and I should do another video to show for 10 whole days how you'll see the pass in front red cars every day for 10 days consecutive. I could actually do a video like that. But I'm not going to do it here. I'm just kind of showing one trip, one day. All right, so I'm going to get over in the left-hand lane here. And again, I mean, there's more that can be said about what's going on here. I'm not going to get into a lot of the other details here, just for the sake of kind of introducing this slowly to the mind that this doesn't happen to every day. Again, you know, vehicle number 21 is actually in the turning lane turning. This was kind of a typo. I already referenced that vehicle as vehicle number 20. But you're going to see here in just a short minute, vehicle 21 making a left-hand turn there. And this is all within 4 hours. This is all within a short time period in one day. This would go on again every day. And this is something that is, again, too thought out, well planned to be coincidental or accidental. Okay, now you can see that vehicle number 21 there, again, passing in front. And, you know, when you have, I guess, a bunch of people watching the same person using an app, a location app or GPS app, it's not hard to achieve this. I know that this is also a very spiritually driven program. When I say spiritually driven, I mean evil spirits. Who would do this and try to hide or camouflage it if they had a real reason or purpose to do it? So after making this left-hand turn, again, I'm going to kind of forward the video to get to the location where I would go in and pay a Verizon bill. So just coming around the back side of this this location, store location here, to make my way to the parking area where I would park and get out here. As I'm looking for a park, I'm looking to park here. Again, you can see more sprinkled vehicles all over. This is kind of a routine travel point or travel path that I take. So as I'm coming up to this Verizon store to pay a bill here, what do you notice here? Again, red cars sprinkled there. This particular red car here, right here in front of us, the guy was actually sitting there waiting. And you're going to see as soon as I back up and park there, him finally get out of the car and go inside. He had been sitting there a while, and that's kind of the reason why I time-stamped it at 13:58 with 35 seconds, because you're going to see from that time until the time he gets out now. You can see him getting out now. But notice it's 14:04, so he actually had been sitting there more than 10 minutes. And, you can see him still standing there, just kind of waiting, I guess, kind of waiting to see what to do here. Not sure whether I should go in or I'm going to try to play this off now and I'm going to walk in because I know he's going in too. So, it's a game. It's a psychological game that they play because they're just psychologically ill themselves. All right, I'm going to move on here. This would be in the afternoon now. I mean, I kind of made a stop at one location for quite some time. You'll notice the timestamp there. It's going to end up being somewhere around 18:04. Yeah, you could see. Now you're going to notice here the pass in front tactic right at about here. Okay, you can see the red vehicle passing in front. Timestamped 18:05 at 5 seconds. Right? They do it all day. It's all day. It's perfectly timed. Every location you go, even if I go out of town, same tactics happening in different locations. And I'm just showing this by way of a sort of an observation video here. So now I can safely make that left-hand turn. As I make that turn now to get on the freeway there, I'm going to get in the right-hand lane there and jump on the freeway. And you'll notice the same activity now because I'm headed back to my place, which is another 40-minute ride. You're going to notice the same thing. And I'm always interested to see how it seems like they want to make it appear as though it's a coincidence, but it's well planned. It's well thought out and well planned. So on this highway now, headed back to my place. It's about, I want to say somewhere around, what is it? I guess 6 o'clock, 6:08. It's 18:06 according to the timestamp there. And you notice there, 18:37 at 5 seconds, red vehicle number 25. And this would take place all the way back to my place. I know there may be some individuals watching this video that might really question whether or not this is what I'm saying it is. And I know you would question it as such because it's probably not happening to you. If you're a TI, if you're a targeted individual, then you understand this. You know what's going on. You know because it's being done to you as well. Maybe in a different fashion, but it is being done to you. Here's another one at 18:13:18. And, you know, if you're a TI, you understand it. You've seen it. You've experienced it. You know what it's like to have this happen all day, every day. And, you know, it's time that we come together and try to expose this for what it really is. Now, I do want to say this also. Some of you that are TIs, you might not be getting it exactly in this fashion. Everybody's probably getting the sensitization, color sensitization differently. I'm showing you how it's coming to me in this video. And, you know, there's many different ways that they obviously do that. But I can tell you what, all of us as TIs, we're all apparently on some sort of list. We're sort of looked at as terrorists that have to be watched. And they feel like we have to know we're being watched. It's almost like, you know, they take innocent people, target them, and try to force them to do something out of the ordinary. There's vehicle number 28 at 18:50, 30 seconds. But it seems like the whole motivation is to try to force a response that would cause you to have trouble with law enforcement, or somehow get thrown in prison, or somehow commit a crime, or even commit suicide, or something like that. You know, because when this happens to you every day, it begins to kind of wear on your mind. Now, I showed in my videos before, I show you the one-lighters and all of that. Here's vehicle number 29 at 18:17:18. I showed in some of my other videos, you know, all the one-light, bright light tactics. You know, they still sort of do that, but they've transitioned to this now, because what ends up happening now, and I don't know how it's done, but you end up noticing everything red. I mean, and you start noticing family members and friends wearing bright red shirts, and everybody's in the color red now. It's kind of a way of kind of turning up the whole targeting a notch, gangstalking a notch, forcing you to either always be thinking about it, or to really, really feel targeted or paranoid, or you know, you really feel watched, victimized. Here's vehicle number 30. And, you know, I could show videos in my archive. I can show videos of traveling this road and not seeing any of these red cars. I can do that. And I have video in my archive to prove it. So if it ever comes to a point where, you know, we're forced into making sort of a case out of this, I believe there's enough evidence to show that this is well planned, well thought out, and what the motivation is behind it, well, I'm sure it's some sort of, you know, experiment, some sort of tactic that allows a person to basically gain from another person's misfortune, which is very unfortunate. So that's all for now, friends. I'm gonna end the video.